Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning market report. I'm Army Piper. We got a little bit of red on market opening today here for the crypto side on the daily. Even in the past hour, little small pullback. Some things getting some moves. XLM not looking too bad. XRP over there looking pretty good. JASMY right, right, right there looking pretty good. I saw it here. It was behind me. It's behind me. I'm blocking everything. But on the stock market side, guys, Dow Jones, the only thing that's really down right now, down slightly, a little bit below neutral. The S&P up about 0.25%. The NASDAQ's up over 0.5%. It does look like we've got a little bit of struggling markets today based on some economic data that came in. That economic data, guys, right there, a little bit of import-export news that came in today. But overall, I do think that we are setting up for a higher high coming in possibly soon, guys. $105,000, ton of liquidation sitting there. We're still playing out on the retest here, on the OC retest, but we're going to be watching all that, breaking it all down for you guys today. Got some headlines, got some macroeconomic news, and, we got some charts because we got technical analysis right here at the Academy. So jumping into all of that, let's get it, guys. Classes in session. Let's go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning market report, guys. We've got a lot of things that we're going to be going over here, looking at charts today, because things are interesting for us. We also got some pretty interesting headlines today that we're going to be looking at, like early Bitcoin investor gelled for a $4 million Bitcoin sale that he did not report to the IRS. We just talked about tax stuff yesterday. It's tax season coming soon to a paycheck near you. So you're going to have to start getting that stuff ready, guys. And then we're also going to take a look at a heat map, looking about $105,000 target on Bitcoin if we are to go and clean out that liquidity. So new all-time high could be heading our way. But you guys know it's Friday. I don't do the show alone. Let's go ahead and bring up my partner in crime here. It's the OC guy. Hopefully we can get TradeFly back in. He had to drop no audio today, but OC guy here with bells on, Christmas bells. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Not much, just participating here in the chat. I think username is like, hey, take notes. Piper never have issues there. And TradeFly is like, hey, homie, you don't have a dedicated, audio setup here. I get you. I get you. Like, I mean, we always connect early because the audio thing, it's always the audio thing, guys. I don't know why. It's
It
always the
is.
audio thing, right?
It is. It's always the audio.
Yeah, it is always the audio. So can't tell you why, but that happens. Other than that, pretty happy to be here. Also, shout out to Alexander G, La Reina del Sur, the Queen of the South. The North, right? The Queen of the North, not the South.
But she's in Southern California, so flip a coin. She's north of you, but south in the United States. So there you go. She did two of those, by the way. She did 2 5 membership giveaways. So a total of 10. Really? Yeah. So yes. So shout out to Alexander G, throwing out 10 Piper Academy memberships this morning before we ever even got started. Retro Mike Tech said if TradeFly ain't here, I'm unsubbing. Retro Mike Tech, where's your Christmas spirit? Hang out with me just because it's Christmas time. Give me at least until January 1st. Then you can unsub. Let's go ahead and get into this news. We got a lot of people in here. It's the Marine and the bowling ball joke. That's what it is. Shout out to all the people that joined us this morning, guys. We're going to be looking at some data here, but let's go ahead and jump into the news side. Let me get everything set up here for that before Retro Mike unsubs me. So, dude, the way OC rolled that R, you tu saba mom? I don't know. He's speaking Spanish there. He's speaking Spanish. And I live in El Paso with 86% Hispanic population and can't speak hardly any. So I can say, ¿Dónde está el baño? That's about it. So let's go jump into the news. Guys, looking at the news today, we do have squeeze it. There we go. A little bit more, a little bit more. Wow, it don't really want to work it today. Okay, fine. We'll roll with it. We're looking at the market cap, guys, sitting at $3.7 trillion right now. Volume down 14.2%. Let's go jump in, check out that fear and greed. Fear and greed index right now in CMC is sitting at 78. It is in greed. Yesterday we were at 80. Extreme greed had a very small pullback, settled that down a little bit. I have a Christmas onesie on too. Trade Fly, I love you, man. Bitcoin's dominant, sitting at 55 right now, and we're still at 67 on the altcoin season index. Remember, once we hit about 70 here is when we start to trigger altcoin season. Still not officially there, according to the CMC index there on alt season. So hourly, we are starting to see some turnaround here. Again, Flares up 1.7, XLM up 3.2, XRP up 3.4, JASMY up 2%. Let's go down here and look at these current prices. Bitcoin down 0.7%, so a 0.7%, but it's still holding right under the $100,500 range. Ethereum just under 4,000 at 39, down about 0.6. XRP has moved up to number 3, taking out Tether, guys. It is right now up 1.5% on the daily, 3.4% on the hourly, getting a nice rally and sitting at $2.45.7. What else we got to get big moves on? Solana's down about 3.4. Cardano's down a little bit at sitting at $1.10. Overall, nothing's too crazy. Uniswap's down 6.3%. I guess that one's a little high. 4.6% upside for HBAR at 18 on the market cap there. That's pretty much it. Like, no crazy movers in the top 20 today. Let's go jump in and take a look here. Dow Jones starting to flip around at market open. We'll take it up 0.1%. S&P now over 0.25% to the upside. And then NASDAQ futures up 0.6%. We are starting to get a little bit of a market rally. So let's go jump here. We'll talk about that afterwards. There we go. Yeah, let's go jump into this news here. Import exports month over month came in this morning, guys. We were expecting that the export prices would be down 0.2%. Came in neutral. We were expecting on a consensus that the imports would be down 0.2%. Came in at its previous. So a little bit of craziness here on that because, consensus was actually thinking it would be down. Nothing was down on import export. Actually had some increase going on there. Might have been, because this is month over month, so we're looking at November. It might have been some resupply from wiped out stuff from hurricanes that took place in the East Coast. Not sure, but we did definitely beat the expectations on those. Next week, guys, next week's going to be the big one. Tuesday, we're going to get retail sales month over month. Wednesday, December 18th, we're going to get building permits, and we're going to get that Fed rate prediction there. Are they going to cut rates? Are they going to, pause or whatever? Right now, it's looking like 96.4% chance that they're going to cut rates 25 basis points. So that is all next Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday is the big ones. Nothing major on Monday. So Tuesday, by the way, will be my birthday. So my birthday gift that I want this to not upset the markets. I want an all-time high before my birthday. That's what I want for my birthday. Let's go take a look at this inflation reckoning coming in 2025. While we're on the topic about inflation and economics, inflation reckoning coming in 2025, ? Investors continue to ignore recent stubborn readings. So while the stocks fell slightly on Thursday, investors are mostly ignoring recent reports showing inflation is still a very real problem. Bank of America thinks that they may be forced to understand and recognize this inflation return in the new year. Potential policy changes on the horizon, higher tariffs, deficit finance, tax cuts, tighter immigration policy could all put upward pressure on prices. Indeed, as a result of these policy changes, we forecast little decline in core PCE inflation over the next 2 years. So if you are wondering what they're saying here, if you want a little bit of breakdown here, they're saying that they don't think that inflation is going to hit that 2% target that the Fed Reserve has anytime in the next 2 years. They think it's going to be pretty much stagnant, okay? So, and data from the last 2 inflation readings all point to stalling progress on disinflation. The November's consumer price index readings showed that 12-month inflation rate increased to 0.3% last month. to 2.7, a 0.3% increase last month made it 2.7. Sorry. While the annual rate rose 0.1%, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported on Wednesday inflation perked up in October, with the CPI increasing 0.2% for the month to 2.6. So getting a little bit of a play back there. They think that a pause at the Fed meeting next week, the Fed will have to admit to the lack of progress on inflation, and a pause in January is likely in their view. So they're thinking that right now they're looking at this 96.4% December. They think January will be a pause. As of right now, the chance of no change, a pause, is only 2.6% chance. So, guys, are we going to see that inflation rear its ugly head, get nasty in 2025 or not? Because I will tell you, we've been getting this data right now. Let's go ahead and jump over here. Let's go jump into DuoCam. We're getting this data now. It's coming out. It's telling us, hey, inflation's not going away. We're still seeing lots of it, and the markets continue to pump up. So I really don't think that the investor cares. So as long as it doesn't come back in a hard way, and they were talking about it just kind of going flat, stagnating, right, throughout the next 2 years, I don't think that the investor cares if it stays the same or in the ballpark of the same. So your thoughts, OC? Do you think? I think it would take a big spike in inflation for the invested world to get scared right now at this point. So what do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that everybody's kind of like moving cautiously, especially investors. But at the same time, I'm not that quite sure that that big of a spike, because if we take a look at, like, for example, something like S&P 500, it just keeps pumping up, right? And I would say that losing the trend, that will signify a big push. Like, I mean, I completely understand what you're saying. Like, a actual big spike will be kind of like a worrying, and then a
Yep.
regular spike might not kind of like get anybody like that scared. But
No.
then if we just stay back, right? Yeah. But then if we just stay back below an important trend line and we just can't get it back up, that's what I will say. Well, maybe we'll see a little bit of a snowball effect. But again, narrative is strong, and as long as retail keeps the narrative going, I think investors know this, right? And they have the capital to hold a breakout retest and then get out at almost no loss, right? Of
Yep.
course, not everybody. Yeah, it depends on how deep within the quicksand they are. Like, for example, who would have thought 3 Hour Capital will be in the situation they were getting at, right? And many other investor companies and stuff. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think there's just a side scenario where we break down, we stay down, and that's when the panic or the like the fear start building up. But I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, I think I think that it would take a big scare, like a big one, like, oh my God, inflation doubled. You know what I mean? Or we would have to see a very sharp increase on inflation to scare this market out. I think this market is very bullish. The investors just don't seem to care. They're like, inflation, yeah, whatever. We've come to accept it. It's the new norm, right? Two,
Yeah.
8% is the new 2%, right? So that's what we're seeing there. Let's jump over here, talk about this last article, and let's go look at Bitcoin. Guys, we talked yesterday about January 1st, new IRS regulation coming out for taxes on crypto, and, to call earnest, right? Because you have to, sadly enough, if you live in the U.S., you're never going to escape your taxes. And it looks like they're starting to crack down on it. Let's jump over here and take a look at this article. Early crypto investor jailed for unreported crypto gains in a $4 million Bitcoin sale. Texas Bitcoin investor, not me, faces 2 years in prison for failing to report over $4 million in cryptocurrency gains, setting a legal precedent. Hey, you get off my, always this one. All right. And an early investor from Austin, Texas became the first person criminally charged for failing to report crypto gains in a case involving about $4 million worth of cryptocurrencies. According to the United States Department of Justice, Texas-based Bitcoin investor Frank Richard Algren III falsely underreported the realized capital gains earned from selling Bitcoin worth $3.7 million between the years of 2017 and 2019. The DOJ said in a December 12th report, all taxpayers are required to report any sale proceeds and gains or losses from the sale of cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin, on a tax return. Algren has invested in Bitcoin since 2011. He purchased 1,366 Bitcoin on the crypto exchange Coinbase in 2015 when Bitcoin was trading under $500. He sold about 640 of them in 2017 at an average market price of about $5,800 and reinvested the $3.7 million in real estate. So authorities found discrepancies in Algren's 2017 federal income tax return. Algren then filed a false 2017 income tax return that substantially inflated the cost basis of the Bitcoin, thereby underreporting his true capital gains from his sale of his Bitcoin. Bitcoin investors stops reporting Bitcoin sales for more than 2 years. Yep, we know that. Additionally, he did not report more than $650,000 worth of Bitcoin sales in 2018 and 2019. So he missed that there. He attempted to conceal his movements of funds through multiple wallet transfers, crypto mixers, and in-person cash transactions, trying to hide it, right? It was worth over $1 million in the total tax loss from that period. 2-year prison sentence became the first criminal tax evasion prosecution centered solely on cryptocurrency. So he will serve time because he's believed his crypto transactions were untraceable. Guys, they're not untraceable. Let's go talk about that. These guys are getting smarter. IRS is getting smarter on how to read all this stuff. And so you guys, if you're in crypto, don't play the game. It's not worth it unless you live outside the country and you've got an entire accounting team working for you that knows how to hide your black your dark web money. I don't know. They're gonna find you. It's not worth it. And so again, call Ernest, link down below. Don't be this guy because he thought he was smarter than the IRS, and they have nothing better to do than to come shake you out for your money. So just be aware of that. Let's go jump over into the Bitcoin chart here. OC, do you play the game up down there with your tax people in Mexico? I remember you had a situation with that recently.
No, I always pay all of my taxes, every single penny. Every.
All right, let's jump into Bitcoin, man. Let's go. So let's get to this chart. There we go. Looking at Bitcoin here, guys. We were getting rejection yesterday here on the 4 hours, what I'm looking at, under the value area high. We did get a little bit of a pullback. I thought we were going to get another retest like we had already on this trend line. Came a little bit below it, catching this previous support area right in here. This is coming in at about 99,300. Then pulled back up. Right now, we are running back up to that 101.7K. That's the area that I'm watching. That's the value area high. But I do think that we are going to see a push through on that. You can see that we're starting to get a curvature here on the oscillator ribbon. Money flow is coming back in the green, and the volume matrix is starting to curve back up also. So a lot of indication down here that we're heading up for another run to the upside. If we jump over and we take a look at the heat map, guys, you'll see here lots of liquidity sitting here. There's about 2.7 million there, 3.4 million there, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. There's somewhere around $100 million in liquidity sitting between 105.3 and 104.3. So when that within that $1,000 range of 104,000 to 105,000 is sitting a lot of liquidity. That would put us at a new all-time high if we break above that. Guys, that's why I said, do we have another all-time high, new all-time high coming? It looks like we could. Just looking at that, OC, I'm going to let you do the close range, the close range engagement there on Bitcoin, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about some Fibonacci channels. I'll show you guys what's going on there because we've got a channel within a channel. We're an inception, if you will, of Bitcoin channels going on right now. Let's jump over to your chart and we'll come back to that.
Absolutely. So, a quick overview, guys. I was also just changing this because at the beginning of the class, for me, it's 8. Well, I jump in 8. This class is 8:30. Right at 8, I open up a trading here. I was a little bit late on that trade based on what I wanted to enter. Let's just do a quick glimpse in here to my 4-hour time frame. Remember that it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. For retest, right, was in here. I opened up a trade with you guys, then moved up, moved my stop to entry, and then tried to catch this stop. Did not play it out, move back around on me. That's what we have. First of all, a stop loss, right? And second of all, that's why we move our stop loss to entry as soon as we're in green, especially on these kind of movements, right? So what happened? Went back down, took me out, zero loss. In fact, was like a $2-3 gain. So that's why you kind of like consider moving your stop to entry slightly above, just to compensate for fees and stuff, right? So even if it takes you out, you're still making $1 or $2 of profit, right? Then what happened? It's coming back down to this area. Let's zoom in at this point, and I mean, I was just dead sleep throughout this channel. So when I woke up, it was like, a damn, this looks juicy, right? We are above the zero line in here. We already had a bounce previously, second bouncing here. Well, the third is the turn, right? So basically, just wait a little bit to see that flip of the ribbon breaking through. And as you can see, as soon as we're breaking through, look at that. And then also confirming the bounce because it's the second, third candle. There we go. That's when I open up my trade. At this point, we are hitting the top of it. So when we do a camera switch, I'm going to be just going to my broker that I have in here. And I'm going to be moving my stop to entry, taking 50% out because this is a scalp, and then just letting it run. If it comes back down and takes me out, I will do exactly the same. Wait one or two candles, jump back in. And remember, on channels, especially on uprising channels, we buy low, we sell high, right? So that's what I got. Also, I mean, Piper, I think you had a question on the thumbnail, right? Are we gonna hit new all-time highs? I also came out here in the poll and I said, "Oh, click yes." If I could have clicked it more than once, I think the answer is gonna be yes, and it is because I think we still have that FOMO going on. But
yeah, 77% right now said yes. 77%. So there you go.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, that's what I got on Bitcoin. That's what I got on Bitcoin. Still, despite I think that we're gonna have a new all-time high. I'm not gonna be playing as if I knew for sure what's gonna happen in the exact structure, right? We are educated on market structure. We have our indicators, and everything is pointing as we're still bullish. But right now, we are hitting and breaking through the money flow POC. That is a very important part. The next thing that I want to see is a retracement somewhere around this area, holding both the trend line and the money flow POC. And then off we go with a strong breakout, catching this area, bouncing back down, and then continuing to take our previous week high. By the way, I'm loving this weekly and monthly high and lows. Man, they are so useful. So if you don't have them, or if you have Market Dynamics Pro, there's a new update 336. Just go into your settings here, scroll almost all the way down here, and you'll have high and lows MTF. Then just turn on either weekly, daily, monthly, quarterly. So it depends on what you trade. I usually do weekly because I do the 4 hours, but I also do daily if I'm trading the 15 minutes. Other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Shout out to Crypto Billy. He's in the chat right now. He's screaming at me. Don't forget about the NFT book. Bro, I got it. I got you, man. I got you, Billy. I got you. Let's go jump over here and check this out real fast, guys. X marks the spot. So a couple of things in here that I want to talk about. Just in, publicly traded mining company Riot buys 5,117 Bitcoin for $510 million. So Riot is a Bitcoin mining company, but they're also buying Bitcoin to put on their asset book, a lot like MicroStrategy is doing. Got an article about that in a second. That's the guy that just got busted. Michael Saylor did say this because now that we've got these other companies, actually, we'll talk about this in a second, but he's talking about how many people are competing for that Bitcoin now. Axie Infinity, we talked about this earlier in the week, guys. Today we get Axie Infinity, December 13th. AXS token unlock about 0.53% of the current circulating supply is being released, so nothing major there. The big one though for Starknet, December 15th, 3% of their circulating supply is going to be airdropped. So keep that stuff in mind. A little unlock, not an airdrop. Sorry. Excuse me. Then I got over here. Let's get into Billy Goat Tales. Let's talk about that. Billy Goat Tales, exciting news, guys. The Billy Goat Tales Season 1 NFT book is happening on December 15th. We were just talking about December 15th, right? 3 p.m. UTC, that's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast there, guys. They are going to be doing their mint. And if you guys aren't tracking, all of the Billy Goat Tales X Spaces, all of the speakers are now NFTs in that book. And that full book about Season 1 is going to be dropping. It's going to be a very cool thing. I need to get Billy on here as a guest. That's what I need to do so that he can explain this book better. But there's a Discord link right there. Let me go ahead and copy that, and I will drop that right here into the chat so that you guys can go check it out and get more info over there. But we need to bring Billy on and have him be a guest so that he can get he can break this down exactly in his narrative, his words, his vision, what this NFT book does for people and what it will, what the future of that project is. So we need to get him on. But let's go take a look at this this channel here as Bitcoin's breaking $101,000 right now. Let's go break this. Let's go check out this channel that I was talking about, Fib channels. As BC Port Corp said, a Fibception. It is the Bitcoin Fib channel inside of a Bitcoin Fib channel. So let's take a look at this chart, guys. You guys have seen this chart before. This is the entire history of Bitcoin running up through a Fib channels. You can see right here, 2015 bottom golden pocket. We had a 2019, 2020 pullback here. This is the COVID crash, the golden pocket. We tried to hold the golden pocket here for quite a while, about 2 months here in 2022. And then we traded in this channel here between the golden pocket and the platinum pocket for this entire cycle from the bottom. Something that I was finding interesting. I was like, you know, what kind of in a channel here? What does a local Fib channel look like on here? And I saw some interesting things. So let's bring this off of the weekly. Let's put this on the 2-day. And let's go in and talk about the 2-day chart here and what we've been seeing going in from back here at this peak in September 2022, March here on 2024 when we had our other top, and then our 1-to-1 line being the bottom of this here. You can see that we have this area, and I actually should turn this, I think, the other way. Let's do that. You guys are going to watch me do this in real time. Here we go. We're going to grab a Fib channel here, and we're going to do that from the bottom. Actually, I'm going to put that back on. We're going to grab this from the bottom here, and we're going to run this right through there, and then we're going to bring this back like we left something to there. There we go. Now let's turn that other one off, and because we're looking for the retracement right up. And so you can see right now our resistance on this. Oh, that was a much better pull. Our resistance right now on this is in between the 50% Fib and the golden pocket. I think that once we break the golden pocket, guys, we're easily looking at heading to the platinum pocket zone, which is going to be the 786 to the 887 here. If we were to be in that zone in Q4, and we'll just go ahead and say between the golden pocket and the platinum pocket, that would put us in September somewhere around $193,000 up to $211,000. Okay. Now there is talk out there, a lot of people talking about Q1. I've got a video coming out on that also about Q1, and we're going to be looking at that in that video of like why we could see a Q1 topping. And if we were to be in that Bitcoin of the golden pocket zone in Q1, which is going to be right in this range here, that would be about $130,000 to $145,000 Bitcoin. We could see that. Keep in mind, 2021, we did have that peak that came up where it came up into quarter one, and then we had a 50% retracement, and then it came back up for the end of the quarter four in that cycle in November of 2021. So there is a chance that we could see something like that, maybe a hybrid. I'm going to talk a lot more about that in the video. But as of right now, guys, I just wanted you to see this. We're in this channel here with resistance pulled from the entire fib channel that we've been in here. We're in this range of resistance under the golden pocket, but we're holding the 50% strong. Anytime you hold the 50% on a retracement coming down to it and you hold it as support, it's a very bullish thing, because underneath that 50%, you start to go into that negative zone. That 50% holding as support is a bullish structure for Bitcoin, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Glad I flipped that. That looks even more insightful there. The reason that we talk about that quarter one topping has to do with when we actually broke previous all-time highs, and so there is that possibility. We'll break that down, but that's why you guys keep hearing about quarter one tops, right? So, but I just wanted to show you that fib channel, why we are in this range, and what is holding us up, what's holding us down. It's a golden pocket and a 50. Let's go check this article out here real fast, guys, because there's an article talking about this $160,000 Bitcoin range. Could Bitcoin hit 160K in 2025, fueled by improving macro conditions? You guys and your banners, I swear. Okay. Bitcoin's price may surge to $160,000 in 2025, bolstered by improving macroeconomic conditions and easing global monetary policies. And a bullish signal for the Bitcoin price, the ECB lowered its key interest rate by 25 basis points to 3% on December 12th. And then the People's Bank of China also decided to cut its benchmark one-year lending rate by 40 basis points to 5.6. It's the first rate cut in more than 2 years for the Chinese economy. Then we're looking at ours again. So they're talking about $160,000 Bitcoin there, guys. If you want to see what my prediction is, I actually, it says 500,000. It's clickbait, okay? I think that is and I even say it in the video, very unlikely that we hit that level in this cycle. But there is there is a mathematical calculation for why it could happen. It's just not likely, right? Probabilities and statistics. That's what we do here. But I do talk about $167,000 Bitcoin. So if you guys haven't checked out this video yet, Bitcoin to 500,000, breaking down Fibonacci cycles in the Bitcoin cycle, overlapping that. You guys should go check that video out. I talk about $160,000 Bitcoin there, not far off from what they're talking about here. 160,000. I called 167K. So that is what we're watching there. And then lastly, guys, more stocks that are adopting MicroStrategy's Bitcoin yield strategy. And here it talks about the MicroStrategy, convertible loans and shares, and then taking that money to buy more Bitcoin leverage to make more money, right? Marathon Holdings is starting to do that. We just saw that thing about Riot Platforms. CleanSpark is going to be starting that. And the reason that matters is because down here, I was talking about this comment by Michael Saylor. He said, "We are all competing for $45 million in Bitcoin mined daily." There's only $45 million in Bitcoin, worth of Bitcoin mined every single day. Everyone's competing for it. Guys, look, this is just the ETFs. This has nothing to do with the Marathon Digitals, the MicroStrategies, the Riot, the CleanSpark, these companies that are starting to adopt Bitcoin. Amazon talking about 5%. So these companies adding to that demand on the institutional side, let alone retail. Forget about us. December 12th, $597 million worth of inflows into the ETFs. December 11th, 223 million, 439 million. Look, I mean, 45 million per day. They're picking up 400, between 350 to 500 average of Bitcoin, millions, guys, a day. And so there's only $45 million a day being mined. And we have even more demand coming, it seems, with now these mining companies wanting to buy at Amazon 5%. Retail, where are we going to get our Bitcoin? That's the big question. Where are we going to get our Bitcoin one day? Because these guys are snatching it up. That's why you've seen when there is sell-off, we're not seeing big, huge pullbacks. The selling pressure gets absorbed very quickly by institutional bulls and retail. So guys, just be mindful when you see these pullbacks. It might be your opportunity, not your moment to exit. So, and plus, don't exit early, because then you'll end up with $4 million, that you could have just held on to, not had to pay any tax on it, and you'd be a Uber millionaire right now, like that guy that sold in 2017. Foolish boy. OC, what do you got for us on the altcoin side? Let's go check out a couple of alts over there, and if you have time, look at AXS. I want to see what it's doing with that unlock today. It's not a big unlock, but we saw Aptos do a major pullback and then a rally bounce. Maybe Axie doing the same thing. Let's go take a look.
Absolutely. Let me pull it up here and let's get started. I was looking at Atom, but I think that can wait. So far, what I see here in the 15 minutes, I see a possible formation of a bull flag. Despite this looks like a trend and the 15 minutes, let's go to 4 hours just to have a cleaner view. Here we go. And I think you can see it here. This is important because, I mean, despite it has the same possible pattern of a bull flag here, which I would say this is a beautiful bull flag. We're not coming from the downside to the upside. We're coming from the upside to the downside, right? So I think that changes a little bit of the story. And that is because since we have that measure pumping here, let's mark the charts very quickly. We start losing that zero line on the oscillator, right? And look at that. We have not been able to claim it back until here, with this last itty bitty push that we have. But so far, we're still kind of like a rolling over, right? The same thing happens when I'm above the zero line and I start seeing that crossover. I usually don't give it that much of a bearish perspective until the price action tells me otherwise, right? Same thing here. I would even say that this is a dead cat bounce. So we need to be very, very, very careful. I don't know how Axie Infinity has been at this point, the game playing or holding on to, but I mean, despite other than just a trading zone, I haven't heard much about it, right? So let's just try to use our indicators to see and catch what pattern could we be forming, right? The first thing I'm going to be doing, of course, as always, is using my eyeballs. So the first thing that I see, it is this stopping here, right? Let me just prolong this. And then also, just for good measure, let me also grab this one and this other one right there. And let's just, for the sake of being positive, let's assume that this is not a dead cat bounce, and let's give it a chance for it to be just the process of creating another higher low. So that's exactly what we're going to be looking for, right? Another way that I can maybe point at something like this, there we go, and I will be looking for a possible retracement at this zone. But come on, this is not helping itself. Why? Because if we keep going down, most likely we will also keep going to roll back down. And unless there's something huge in here that stops the fall, we're just going to be continuing. So the positive or the optimistic trading or analysis of trading this coin would be having a higher low. Now it's time for me to start putting up my indicators. And as you can see, oh, well, this is where I started having some support, right? Nothing in here so far. Let's take a look at my reactors. Yeah, reactors having a support area up here, not all the way down here. Again, I mean, this is the area where I see the support and not at this trend line. So let's get started by removing some stuff. Now, what again? Look at that, the channel here, nothing in between here. Let's go for the next one. Well, area of interest for me is going to be smart money areas once again at this zone. This is not important for me, and this is a ranging zone along this one ranging zone. So if we're able to hold it, for by some miracle, do something like that, I think we can still get somewhere around 832, right? But still, I think that will be being very, very positive. Once again, my predictive range is here, nothing down here, but everything is pointing at the same zone at that point. So let's just do a quick overview here. We already have gone over most of the indicators. So we do have a big support at this point. What we're going to be waiting for is going to be the flip of the ribbon. So let's see if that ribbon can hold in here and do that that flip up. Let me see my RSI prime. It's not looking that good. It's not looking that good. I don't see tiny candles. I don't see signs of reversals, early reversals, but I could still be wrong. Let's do one more analysis in here just to finish it up. And yes, I was expecting, look at the money flow. Let me just put it into the screen. There we go. Look at the money flow. It is red all across the board. And I mean, I don't see much of it playing out unless we do a big flip. Once again, will depend on maybe the pump or emotions of Bitcoin dripping into Axie Infinity. But other than that, I would be saying, guys, let's treat this as a dead cat bounce and not as a bull flag. So what would be my entry point? Could be down here for I mean, if you really, really, really want to trade it, this could be your setup like that. We're pretty close to 1 to 2, so it's not that bad. And then maybe do a half of an entry at this point, and then do another half at this vertex right here. So another half will be pushed there, and then of course keep your stop loss where it is. Once again, entry point 7.57, secondary point it will be 7.33, taking profit point will be 8.32. So other than that, turning it back to you, Piper.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring up Tradefly here. I know his mic is still not working. We're gonna have to figure it out after the show. But I wanted everyone to see his beautiful face, the host of the #1 show on Piper Academy. So you know it's the Crypto Nightcap. So Tradefly, I just wanted to bring you on. No one can hear you. There's no audio. It still says you have yourself muted. But I wanted people to see your beautiful face. So wave at everyone. Wave at everyone and tell them you love them. There you go. Sorry about that, guys. We'll have to figure it out, Bob. We tried to get him up here today. It just did not happen. I'm going to go take a look here at ONDO, man, because ONDO's doing some stuff. And I showed you guys this box here a while ago. Let's go jump over here and take a look. I said, look, here's your entry zone. This is back here when we were rejecting off of some, let me see what levels I had in here. I had circles and I had something else on here. Was it that? Yep. I said, look, the zero line, come back and test that. Look for this box. And I have it right there listed, entry zone. We were in the green cloud also overlapping in that. And that was the move up. We're now pushing quite hard, breaking another high right now as we speak. We just grabbed the liquidity from there, did a pullback. It's continuing on right now. I will point out we're getting we do have some upside moves, so we can still go a ways, but we are sitting pretty high up here on the Oscillator Pro. Let's go look at the RSI, see how that's looking. Guys, yeah, we have more room to go here. The reason I say that is here, you can see that we're orange. We're not in that red yet. That red is when we're getting very hot on the RSI heat map here. So we can still push up higher there. And this red line here is the daily Bollinger Band, giving us more upside for ONDO there. If you guys had gotten in on this entry zone that we called out here, I think you'd be sitting pretty good right now. Not sure that it's going to come back to that zone anytime soon. Even if it came back to the 50% line that you're seeing right here, this is the 50% of the daily Bollinger Band. If you guys look, that's going to still be right in this area. So even if we did have the pullback to the 50% line of the daily Bollinger, you would be right back in your entry zone. So if you got in here, stop loss would not likely be hit there. Looking pretty good on the 4 hour, man. ONDO is crushing it. What you got for us, OC? You got anything else?
Absolutely. I was waiting to get some physical gold for this upcoming month, December. I wanted to get for me a piece of beautiful gold, a physical one. So I was looking at the 15 minutes, I think, last week, and I was like, oh man, this thing, I needed to drop, right? I needed to drop, and it was just pushing hard. Perfect. Then now we had a lower low, right? Or a dead cat bounce here. Guys, just be careful because this is what could be happening on Axie Infinity. Just saying, just be careful, right? Just be careful. And then we have a big drop here. We have our first whack of flat positive continuation downwards, right? Usually the third one is a charm, right? So I am expecting to play it out the same thing here. And then lastly, at the very bottom. And if I start zooming out, you'll see that we are following a very beautiful and constant patterns, right? Predictability, right? And repeatability. It is what I like to see. Look at that high, 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 right? Well, I mean, we overextended here, but low, 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 right? So I think that we're pretty much in line of what we are seeing at this point. Let me go to the 4 hours because I will say that still is not a time to enter for a purchase at this point. Although we are very, very, very close to do a flip of the ribbon here, I would even hold it a little bit more. Let's throw in here our indicators. First, wheel dynamic reactor. That might change stuff, right? Let's take a look at our other reactors. There we go. We had being bearish here. We have a breakout. Look at that gray. Because was not sure if we're going to be holding that positive movement. And finally, we're breaking back down, right? So nothing is lost at this point. Why? Because we can speculate, right, that we can still come all the way here and do the next movement to the upside. At the end of it all, macro movement, right, still pushing upwards. So let me go back into the 4 hour here. Let's start adding other stuff. Let me turn on my main indicator. Then support and resistance as well. Our first support is right here. Although I think that we're going to have a little bit of a push through here. Maybe could be a fake out. Let me zoom in here. Maybe it's going to be a fake out to the downside. And once I start seeing that flip of the ribbon, could be here for first entry, so 2,649, and then my secondary entry will be somewhere around here at 2,624. So other than that, waiting for the flip of the ribbon for gold. By the way, when I try to buy gold, physical gold, I will hold for this kind of movement. So I have maybe a full day for price adjustment and then go in and get some gold. Remember, if you get physical gold, the stamping, the production on things like that, that they sell you that gold as at a premium price. So do expect to be paying just slightly bit more for that polishing, production, waiting, transportation, so on and so forth, right? So just bear that in mind. Other than that, turning back to you, Piper.
Let's go take a look at JASMY OC. Appreciate that analysis there, man. Physical gold is king, Deck said. There to your OC analysis of gold there. He enjoyed that in the chat. Let's talk about JASMY. So about a little over a week ago, I talked about the all-time high chart, guys. We were looking at. Do I even have that open? I don't know if I do or not. Let's go put it up. Let's go open it and take a look at it. It is the all-time high chart, and we had a whole discussion about community and people looking at charts going, oh, this thing's really way down from where it was at. Maybe this is something that's about to move. And so you can look at these all-time highs. If I can find that chart, where is it? That's the hash rate. That's a monthly returns. All-time high. There it is. I was talking about this, and I said, if you guys click this on the top 100, you'll see JASMY 10,277% off from its all-time high. I said, that's one that I would be watching when we talked about that, right? And so looking at the chart, right after I said that, we'll put this on the daily. We had this big, huge candle that a lot of people made this money on, this whole run up here. And then we had a very sharp pullback. I dropped some fibs on here. Guys, we got a perfect wick on the 0.66 right there, retesting that on the daily, also hitting the daily 3D trend indicator. Good bounce point. I think that JASMY's getting ready to make another run here to the upside. Looking at the 4 hour though, we do have the pink cloud here from the 3D trend. This means that it's a likely a rejection point. That's what happens. But typically we can get through it in the bull market. We break through them pretty easy. You can see the zones of the green tend to be much longer than the zones of the bearish pink, right? Which is red. I just made it watermelon colors. Guys, looking at this on the looking at this right here, we are getting a good reset. You can see the Heikin-Ashi candles are starting to thin out, get very small, which typically leads to more upside, just like we had right here where we had that move to the upside there. I think that Jasmy's getting ready to make another move to the upside. We just got to break through this 3D trend cloud over here. Let's get that isolated again. There we go. We just got to get through this 3D cloud right now to the upside, but I do think that's likely considering that we had such a good bounce on that and the golden pocket, broke the 50, now heading up to the 382, or past the 382 to the 236. So looking at the oscillator, money flow is coming back in. We do have a little bit of drop in volume, but it does look like the oscillator ribbon going to flip us back up to the upside. Jasmy, keep an eye on that one. Definitely something to watch. So, and again, that was all off of looking at the all-time high. This thing's way off. If you look at that chart of how it looks on the grand scale, let's go over there and I'll show you. This is what I'm talking about, guys. You can see here how high Jasmy was when it launched here on Binance back in 2021. It spiked up, and then look at this drop. So if we bring this in and we put this on the algorithmic, you can see how low this is setting. Oh, stop. Thank you. Let's draw. You can see how low this is setting. When people look at this, just perspective, they go, oh man, if we could just get back even part of the way into this move, like this was 2021. We lost the market. We had a bear crypto winter, right? We can get, they look at that and they see how far off it is from that all-time high. That is what makes people jump into things like that. That's why we called it out here on the show. So, because watermelon colors, you buy them on a nuclear reactor. No, I made them because they pop on the contrast on broadcast. So I did that for you guys. OC, that is about all we have time for today, unless you've got anything else to put out. I've got a busy day. I know you got a busy day. We've got TA Plus over in the Chart Prime community today. We've got the banter thing that we're doing over in Crypto Banters, Chart Hackers. So we got a very busy day today. Is there anything you want to take a look at before we go, or anything you need to say?
Yes, something really quick, and I also want to make it as a question for you. Rayson 246, he's asking how do you move physical gold? And I mean, we joke around a little bit on the side, on the comment section, right? Where I said, well, you just carry it on, right? That's how you move it. But I think it's important to know. Also, there was another question answer that says, well, nobody should be thinking on selling their physical gold at this point, which I agree with that. But I think it's very important to know how to, because there's the harsh truth here. If you're buying gold, at some point, it's because you're thinking that at some point, you will be eating out of it, right? Or at the best case scenario, you'll be taking profits out of it. I mean, since you cannot eat physical gold, well, then how do you exchange that for being able to pay your rent, food, water, or whatever education, right? And I think the most classical way, it is taking it to the bank where you got it, because here, if you're in Mexico or something around here, you can get it straight from the bank, right? And then sell it back to the bank. Or you can take it and sell it to jewelry workstations or workshops, right? Pound stores in other areas. But how would you be moving your physical gold, Piper?
Me personally, I use appmex.com. American Precious Metals Exchange is how I move my gold and silver. So I hold it myself, but when I need to sell it back off, I contact them and they give me, spot or bid and ask rates, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm buying or selling. And then I ship it back to them, and it's free for me to ship it, and they buy my gold. So, yeah, that's how I do it. That's how I do it. Let's go ahead and head out of here, though. OC, I appreciate you coming on today. Tradefly, if you're still watching at home, I'm sorry you couldn't make it on, bro. We're going to figure that out this weekend. We got to get you back in here. But, guys, if you guys got anything out of today's show, please smash that like button, smack the hell out of it, and let's go ahead and boost up this algorithm a little bit. Guys, share it with a friend, because sharing is caring, and we appreciate all of you. Don't forget, we've got a lot of content here on this channel today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have Trade Academy broadcasting with Trade Intuition. And then Sunday night, we'll be back again all over again with a little push out from an Asian market open Sunday night with Lunar Beaches Crypto and the markets after dark. And the next week, we're rolling it all out again. 5 shows a day. Make sure you guys go check out that video. And it looks like Randy Hipper is not live right now. We are going to redirect to her. It said she was supposed to have gone live at 9:45 a.m. Not sure why. But guys, no one to redirect to unless she starts her show soon. So we will catch all of you right back here next week on Monday. FOMC week next week, guys. Big week. But if we break this weekend, that new all-time high, much love to all of the hodlers and believers out there. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, guys, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss or risk management, at least some type of risk management. I'm watching you, Buck.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude.